Today's message from Dr. Christian Sorensen was recorded December 2nd, 2018, and it's titled, Let Your Light Shine, affirming, I am the light of the world. And we had quite the treat today. Today's featured guest artist was our own musical director, Rebecca Jade, who can be found on our Facebook page or website. And as always, you can come visit us on our website at seasidecenter.org and consider making a donation. It would really make a big difference getting our uplifting message out to others through video and the podcast. And you can always join us in Encinitas, California sometime. And as you can tell, we always have great music, a spirited message, and a joyful, loving, vibrant community that await you.
Before Dr. Reverend Christian comes up here, I'm going to introduce our guest artist, and every once in a while, Reverend Christian gives me the okay to book myself. So I'm your guest artist this morning. Thank you. And in knowing what the message is going to be about today, we decided to pick a song by a great band I think we all are familiar with, and they have a great song called Shining Star, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Hope you like it.
Upon a dream, oh yeah. Life ain't always what it seems, oh yeah, oh yeah. What you see all night so clear, in the sky so very dear, yeah. Sing if you know it. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be, what you can truly be. To view. Ooh, shine this watchful light on you, yeah. Give you strength to carry on, yeah. Oh, make your body big and strong, yeah. Born a man, child of the sun. Woo! So my work has just begun, yeah. To stand alone, yeah. Oh, blessed now I've got my own, oh yeah. Come on. So if you find yourself in need, why don't you listen to these words of heed? Yeah. Oh, be a giant grain of sand. Yeah. Come on, words of wisdom. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Sing. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. So you're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. One more time, sing. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. Break it down, say, shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Sing, shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be.
Thank you. Give it up for our Seaside Band.
And for our very own Rebecca Jade. Oh my goodness. That's our girl. Oh, wow. Woo, woo, woo. That's right. Oh, man, that's so good. Hey, if you want all of Rebecca, Thursday night, the 13th on Escondido, you can have a lot more than we give you on Sunday mornings. But we are blessed with her wonderful consciousness, for sure. Rebecca Jade. All right. Well, hey, this morning is Let Your Light Shine. And I'm working on slowing it down. So, wow. So, as you know, we just got back from Costa Rica because the snowball's flowing around the house. But I want to fill you in on the unfolding story with Trevor, our son. As you may or may not know from a couple of years ago, Trevor, who loved to travel, get on a plane, fly anywhere. He loved planes. All of a sudden, his discomfort around crowds became stronger, and his phobia around babies and dogs became irrational, and he decided he's not going on a plane anymore, particularly since there were babies screaming on both sides of him on the last long flight. And he stopped 2 years ago. That was it. And there happens to be a lot more dogs at airports now than there used to be. There used to never be dogs. Now they're sniffing bags and in bags. Crazy. But so finally this summer, Callie and I went down to Costa Rica without Trevor after a couple of years. Said, "See you later, son. We're going to live our life." And we came back and we said, we're going to go for Thanksgiving. He said, "I'm going to go too. Count me in." And it's like, man, this is great. That's the key. Leaving him behind and going without him, I guess. And so all of a sudden, we were thinking, he's going to make that. Talk about letting your light shine, not focusing on what would come up. What happens if he doesn't go and we don't have anybody to hang out with him and we've got tickets and all, and we wouldn't allow our attention, awareness go there. He's going. And sure enough, the day came and Mom had withheld his iPad for a couple months and said, "You can have it if you get on the plane." And sure enough, it worked, And so he made it. He traveled well. And a little manipulation, a little bit of work, a lot of prayers from practitioners, and all of it adds up. But the key there is we chose to focus on him going. We were not putting light on, he's not going to make it, it's not going to work. And if it would creep into the natural human awareness, we wouldn't go there. And as I was sitting down there, I just had a picture come to mind of the last trip my dad took with us was to Costa Rica. And little Trevor, holding Grandpa's hand, out on the beach. And his attentiveness was just amazing. I think all little boys love their grandpas. There's just something there that's indescribable. And to see Grandpa's full attention on him is just, he was fully present. It's just an amazing thing to see. But I realized he was like that with the young girl next door to his house. He just, would bring back gifts and be present for her and all his godchildren. They just adored him. And I think it was that attentiveness. And in that, it brought up for me the image of when I used to hold my dad's hand, And what came up for me is that part of my life was like being an actor in a play, and the curtain came down on that play, never to go up again, because that part of my life was complete. And I wasn't quite the old wizard yet. I'm kind of perched out right in that in-between stage. But I'm closer to the old man, but what I saw is really, it's almost a part of initiation, or rites of passage for the wise wizard or the crone to love and to extend to that young generation that's starting off in this world, that there is attention and there is presence and there is that something that is available. And I can remember being with my dad toward the ending arch of his life, and in his 80s, and he says, when you're old, you still don't feel old. And yet, he couldn't quite do the things that he once was able to do, but he did share with me that, whatever age you are, because I give him a hard time, how do you know this, Dad, growing up? He said, you got to realize whatever age you are, you lived all those ages prior to that. And so And what you want to do is live fully whatever age you're in. So if you're young, don't hope and you turn into an old wise wizard. Be present. If you're a young surfer dude, surf. And if you're the old wizard or crone, be the wizard. If you're innocent in love, be innocent with your love. Or if you're jaded, allow yourself to be jaded. But there's many different aspects that you get to experience in many different corners of the universe, and you get to shine your light of who you are at that time. In Ernest Holmes, he talks about the fullness of it all, and the one mind of it all, and it all takes place within that which is changeless in a sense. It's like there's a part of you that's the observer of that child. There's a part of you that's the observer of the maturing individual. And as you bring your attention, as you bring your light, you realize that there is a wisdom. Ralph Waldo Emerson talked about as one ages, the beauty gets sealed within, deeper. And so you've got within you that beauty, the magic that's it may be a little bit more invisible, but it's just as fertile. It's just as wonderful, and it's just alive and able. But you've got to bring the light to that as opposed to, I'm getting old, or it's not working, or I'm not that anymore, or this is terrible, or isn't that sad? Because where you put the light, you bring the light into this world, and that is what tends to be magnified for you. There's a story about Absalom. And he was the third king, he was the third son of King David, who'd been a king for a long time. And you'll find this in the Old Testament, and if you don't know, that's the Bible. And this kid just loved himself. It was like this little girl walking on the beach. Every time, the sky would flash, she would stop and smile. And she'd walk, she'd stop when it lightning and she'd smile. And the guy said, "What are you doing?" She said, "God wants to take a picture of me." Absalom wasn't quite so innocent. He believed that he was entitled to be king and wanted to be king sooner than later. And his dad had been king long enough. And so he would drive through town on his shining gold chariot, long hair flowing and his big muscles just bulging. And the Bible, 2 Samuel says he was the most handsome man in the village, in the town. And he would stand outside the gate early in the morning when the people were coming in to the community, and he would talk to them and say, "What's wrong? Tell me." He said, "If I were king, I'd be able to help you. Our king right now has gotten old. He's been king too long. He really doesn't care anymore." And he would undermine his dad and start to create this unrest. But what's interesting is that you can only do that so long before people catch on. They realize that you can kiss at the gate and betrayed behind the closed doors. And so, finally, I'm rushing to the end of the story. It's getting long. So anyway, he got a band of guys go against his dad. His dad ran all those guys out of town. As they're getting out of town, he gets his hair caught in the trees, and the soldiers get him, and that's the end of Absalom. But I share that because what happens is we sometimes forget our heritage. We forget that we have been given the kingdom and that it's all ours, and that we get greedy or we want more of it. Now we're shining the light on what's not working or what hasn't been given to me yet, rather than living in the appreciation, the gratitude, and the blessings that who we are, that we have been given this heritage, this inheritance that is ours in perfect time. But I've got to choose to be that young warrior when I'm the young warrior. I've got to choose to shine the light on being the surfer when I am that. I've got to allow myself to enjoy that childhood when I'm there, and where I am is where I bring the fullness of the presence of God. And realize, even in King David's kingdom, there were some challenges. I mean, you got government, there's going to be challenges. You got life in this world. It's not all perfect. I mean, in the spiritual kingdom, it's all perfect. But, in this earth world, there's weeds that grow in the garden that have to be pulled. And people, here it is, Midwest, getting cold, raining, snow. They're moving to California for the perfect weather. Then I'll hear right around like today, there's no change of weather. It's 70 degrees in December in California. They move to Florida, then they complain about the humidity. It's not always perfect all the time in this world. When we were driving, because Trevor wasn't flying, to Montana, that's a long drive if you didn't know. It's like the Mexican border to the Canadian border. But anyway, we drive along the western states, gorgeous. The roads are beautiful, the scenery, the ocean is spectacular. We got great roads here in California. But we got to, a spot where they were repairing a patch of the road, and so the cars are stopped and they're lined up, and you got to wait, and you got to wait, and you got to wait, and wait, and wait, and wait, and finally they let you through. You waited 5 minutes. And for the next, 50 minutes, I'm complaining. We had to wait. That road was terrible. What was so bad? And we're driving through the redwoods, the most gorgeous coastal property on this continent. And I'm complaining because I had to stop 5 minutes. And what happens is we focus in with the light and our attention, our awareness on the very thing that doesn't need to have our attention anymore. It was past. It was done. It was complete. We've got to let that go. Yeah. Here's when a guy inherited his family farm. He grew up on the farm. He took care of the farm. He was left the farm in the will, and he took care of the farm for years and just started complaining. I'm tired of this farm. It's old. So he got a realtor to come in to sell the farm. Realtor wrote up, the description of the farm and read it to the kid whose farm it was. So he could get the okay before he put it in paper, and he described the farm as this big palatial farm with rolling hills and pastures and acres to plant and nice fences and well-kept buildings and modern equipment and a small stream running through. And the guy said, wait, read that to me again. He read that again and said, man, that's just what I've been looking for. You can't sell this place. It's where we put our attention that makes the difference. I do enough couple counseling in my time to realize that the most of the people that sit in front of me, there's only a little bit piece that's an issue. Like 5% of their years of relationship is an issue, and that's what they're focusing on. Yeah, you got to work on stuff, but you know what? You could also focus on 95% that is working and realize what a blessing and a gift, what brought you together, what is the love that you have to share, what is the wonder that is going on in your life, what are the dreams that you've had and you created and you're creating. There are all sorts of possibilities that exist when you take your attention and put it in a place that is significant and make a difference. The healing happens in our life when you come to discover your true self. The growth happens like really in places of challenge. I mean, think of the times in your life in which you've grown, you've stretched, you've learned patience, resistance, you deepened your walk with Spirit. Was it in those times when everything was peaceful, or when you were challenged and you had difficulty that you began to discover aspects of yourself that you had forgotten? And Michael Jordan, reading some of his statistics recently, and he said that I missed over 9,000 shots in basketball. And I had lost nearly 300 games. And I had been trusted 26 times to take the last shot to win the game, and I missed. And yet I kept going back. And because I went back, I was a winner in the game. See, we got to know, where am I going to put the light on all the shots that I miss? Where am I going to put the focus on all those times I lost? Or is there something greater? Kofi Annan, who was Secretary General of the UN for quite some time, he talked about to live is to choose. And to choose, you have to know who you are and where you stand and where you want to go and why you want to go there. That's the light. You're a shining star, top of the tree. Shine it on the path in the direction that you want to go in your life. You be that, because a lot of people lose the relevance in their life because they are stuck in the past, still thinking they want to be that kid on the beach, or they want to be in that innocent love in those early days of relationship. You've got to come to recognize who you are now is what is valuable. And you get touched by memories sometimes. I'll watch our young Catherine, who you see up here on stage, walk down the halls sometimes here at Seaside. And I just see her eyes twinkling with an innocence and a zest and a sparkle and an enthusiasm. And it's like all of a sudden I catch an image of myself. How I once was when I had that enthusiasm. I could take on the world. It didn't matter. We could buy this building and not have any money. Those things didn't matter. I could be president of a movement and not know anything. It's like there was a sense. And yet I'm guessing that she's looking at the other end of the hall and she's like half my age. It's like, literally. I mean, she's probably like 19. And looks down the end of the hall and probably sees minister. She is on her way to be a minister. And to be able to see that. And I'm just reminded how important it is to shine the light where we are now in our life and to recognize that, I've got to find the peace within my heart with where I am. And I've taken some hits along the way. But we've got to learn to kiss our scars. Because our scars are an indication that, we've been out there. And we had battle. And that we're still here to have scars with. And that's a pretty good thing. I survived. And when we can begin to recognize that, then nothing and no one can stop our journey into greater expression. And it's time for us, when we begin to feel that about ourselves, to go and open up the drawers where we pushed our junk that we didn't really want to deal with to the back. You know what I'm talking about? The stuff you push in the back of your drawers that some other day you'll deal with. But anything that has still been buried back there that is keeping you from living 100% out today, it's time to pull it out and deal with it. And if Michael Jordan can miss 9,000 shots, and if you can live with some scars, then it's time to pull it out and know that you have got inside of yourself what is necessary to be able to move forward in this world with a belief and assurance that, you know what, I need to pay attention because I'm still here. And the fact that I'm still here, there's something I need to hear. I need to listen a little bit deeper. My hurts don't need to stop me. I am greater than those hurts. I have got to, fix the mask or build a boat or buy a boat or get back out there and do what it is that we've come here to do, to shine that light in this world and not allow someone to put a basket over it to cover it and allow me to be stifled because of a past challenge or a mistake. Because with God and I are a majority and we're greater than anything that can be thrown our way, anything that can be thrown your way. But you've got to believe that. William Wordsworth, 17th century English romantic poet, said that there is enough that is within you that will fill your day with joy and overflow for years with hope. See, that's what I was talking about, or that's what Emerson was talking about, that gets buried or sealed inside of you. It's just your treasure is there and it's deeper and it's not as seen, but you come forth with a greater calm and a presence and an assurance and a knowingness that all is well. Faith is, that which can't be seen, that invisible something that is there. And I share these quotes and these Bible stories and not as proof, but as illustrations for you. You got that? I share my stories as illustrations of what can be possible, because these spiritual truths are only relevant if you're able to experience them and apply them in your life so the light can shine from within you. It's not about being able to quote something. It's about being able to live that. There's a big difference between knowing about God and being God. And one of the difference between the metaphysicians and the mystics. The metaphysicians learn how to work the spiritual principles, and I'll teach you how to do that in class starting Tuesday nights in January, or any of the classes that are going on around here. And we tend to be able to create effects, be able to heal, have your voice last for a whole talk or two, be able to have the relationships become more wonderful, abundance flow. Those things are the effects, and that's what metaphysicians learn how to create. But the mystics, what they do is they just work on being or attaining that mind that was in Christ Jesus. Being that divine vibration, being that Christ light, that Christ expression. And in that spot, there's a realization that this intelligence that guides the universe is a wisdom that knows how to take care of my life. I don't need to tell it to fix this body or fix this financial situation. It is rather, there's something inside of me that allows that mind that was in Christ Jesus to be that mind that I am in. It is the mind that is God, that is flowing through me, as me, is me, and is able to move through all the challenges that are there. And what I'm able to notice when I work with the classes is there's a moment where people become endowed with that spirit. There's a light that goes on. And when that light goes on, there's like three things I notice. There's always a sense of gratitude. I'm grateful. And there's a sense of love or compassion that exudes. Third one is like a sharing. I got to share this. I got to be this. I got to give this. I got to let this be in the world. And people can say, hey, I've got it. But you know what? That light goes on. You see those qualities begin to show up in people. And it makes a difference in their life. And to those that are around their life, because their light is shining. It's no longer hidden under the bushel. There's a light in it. It is shining bright. And, there's a time when we had that young, enthusiastic innocence of, man, I can change the world. Remember that one? Well, you didn't grow up in the 60s. Okay, well, what happens sometimes is you go from, boy, I can change the world, but it's not going to happen in my lifetime. And then it often will go to, well, if it's not going to happen in my life, why bother? And that's not really the direction we want to go with this. The Buddha shared that it's not so much what you accomplished that carries on with you. It's what you were attempting. It's what you were trying to do. That when you die or you make your transition, that's what is significance. That is what makes a difference. You don't have to be around for it to be accomplished. I mean, look at Susan B. Anthony. Here is a woman who dedicated her life. And as a result, millions of women today have far greater freedom. But she never lived to see the 19th Amendment. But because of her, half of Americans are freer than ever before. Actually, probably the other half is also. Though she didn't live to see it, I bet that there's something in her when things shifted. Boom. She received blessings. See, we're dealing with a multidimensional aspect of love and blessings and caring. And when things shifted, it's like, wow, that's good. Well, in our life, there's a great vision that we're being called to at this time. And that is for there to be peace on this earth, peace on this planet. And will we see it in our lifetime? Well, what matters is that I'm willing to shine the light to help it be possible. And that's where I'm going to put my attention and my energy and my love. And know that, this world could use a greater sense of peace on the planet, with less wars or the exploitation of things or the treatment of our friends and our neighbors and family. And as we continue to do our work and to submit ourselves to be used by Spirit, to be the light, to be a difference in our world at this time, blessings begin to unfold. And we may not be around when that time happens. I can just imagine a long time from now, when we're not even remembered. And there's a little boy walking on the beach, holding his grandpa's hand, looking up in admiration. Say, Grandpa, now is it true that at one time there was war on this planet and animals are going extinct? We're destroying the place. And he looks down and said, yes. There was. But that was a long, long, long time ago. And it's in that moment, somehow, we receive that blessing. Because it's a multidimensional aspect of love and blessings and Spirit. And so I want to end with a homework assignment for you. Because I want you to shine your light. So what I would like to ask you to do, I'd do it now, but it's not a classroom and it takes too long. So here's your assignment. I want you to go home this week and somewhere in the course of the week, find a space where you can sit down alone and not be bugged. And just go within. And see yourself as that light, as that love, as elegant and beautiful, charismatic, dignified, spiritual, humble, just all those divine qualities, the equanimity, the balance, the beauty of who you truly are. And to close your eyes and just to sit there with that for a while. And invite that Spirit in to make that possible potential human that you are a reality. And whatever portal is opened up to allow you into that house of God, where the truth of your being is known, I want you to know that is your true home, where you are loved for who you are. It is the home where your soul is repaired, it is retrieved, it is nourished, it is empowered, it is reminded, it is re-energized. So you can once again step forth from that place into the shadows of this world and let your light so shine that we may all be blessed by who you are. God bless us all. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring our guest artist, my favorite singer on the planet. That is our very own Rebecca Jade.
Oh, thank you. What a wonderful message. Always encouraging. Yes. frog in the throat and all, he still delivers a wonderful message. I love Seaside, and I wanted to pick a song that also would reflect the message. And this song is by a singer named Christina Aguilera, and it's called Beautiful. Hope you like it.
Every day is so wonderful. Suddenly, it's hard to breathe. Now and then, I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. I'm beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring me down. So don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed and on your doom, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The pieces gone, left the puzzle undone. Is that the way it is? But you are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. No, no, you are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring you down. No, no, no. So don't you bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, we're a song inside a tune full of beautiful mistakes. And everywhere we go, the sun will always shine. And tomorrow we might wake on the other side. 'Cause we are beautiful, no matter what they say. Said words can't bring us down. No, 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 no. Said we are beautiful in every single way. Said words can't bring us down. No. So don't you bring me down today. Don't you bring me down. No. Don't you bring me down today. Don't you bring me down. Don't you bring me down today.
Thank you,
That is Rebecca J.
Seaside Band.
That's how our guest artists should be picking songs. Those two were perfect today. Right in your wheelhouse. That is just fabulous. Fabulous.